What's up, everybody? All right, what do we got? I got indie. That's probably gonna be bad. R&B, synthwave. Let's try synthwave. Oh, this is intense. Jazz is good, actually. Okay, Quarantine by 𝔽𝕝𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕝. Pretty cool. Okay, cool.
Hey, Al.
Chad voice confirmed. I promised everyone.
Yeah, it's too bad I don't have a cold. I usually drop about an octave when I've got a sore throat. Really like to optimize podcasts around.
You do you know the voice of Snake in Metal Gear Solid? You know he's like a lifelong smoker.
Oh, nice. Maybe I should take up smoking. Hey, Moon. All right, she vetoed that.
She vetoed the smoking. There's got to be a way to just kind of gargle the smoke and not breathe it, so you don't get cancer.
Yeah, isn't that the point of a cigar? Like you sort of just like get the smoke in your throat. I guess you can still get throat cancer from that.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I'm not a doctor, and as far as I know, I isn't either. Just for the caveats, there will be cat ears. However, I didn't promise anything about the duration of the cat ears, but at the same time, I do want to be, respect the spirit of the gambit. And so what we're going to do is about an hour in, I'm going to put them on for 15 minutes. That is my commitment. That's what I will do.
Interesting, man. Let's go with the little plane. I don't know if I'm likely to fly in one of those in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like unless everyone I know and love dies, in which case, I can risk my life. But
right.
at least, or if I really need to cash out on a life insurance policy, I probably shouldn't have said that. That seems like something that might be held against me in court. Scratch that. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go with something small though. Is there like a disastrous failure mode in this game where you just fuck it up and crash? And how realistic is the death?
Right. So the death is not, well, I don't know. Maybe it is realistic. It's a good question. I was going to say it's not realistic because you don't get to see a huge explosion, but I guess in real life you probably don't get to see the explosion.
Yeah, I guess not.
But I actually have disable crashes off because the actual wind will tear the plane apart sometimes. So you'll just be trying to do some cool shit. Yeah. You'll just be trying to do something cool, like do a loop, and then like the wind will rip the plane apart. You don't see much of it though. It just says like you ripped the plane apart. But I'm going to start us off.
Cool. So how much skill do you need to like get a plane off the ground in this game? Because in real life it seems no. Okay, so like getting the plane off the ground and flying the plane is easy, and it's only the landing that's tough, right? That's what I learned from 9/11.
Oh god, did my computer freeze? I'm off the ground in this case. I've had some troubles. I mean, generally it's not too bad. But hold on, we're not really too far off the ground. And you can see I'm wobbling a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's put away those landing gears. We got the moon.
Come on, guys. Oh, they fold in. That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, is that realistic? Probably.
I don't know. Honestly, I know very little about plane engineering. The one thing that I know is that the fuel is usually kept in the wings.
Right. Is that true?
But,
that's weird.
Yeah, no, so that's the reason they burn off all the fuel if you're going in for like a rough landing.
Okay.
Like they fly the plane around to burn off fuel, and it's not because they're really concerned the plane is going to explode per se, but if you hit the ground at a pretty high velocity or a pretty high speed, like a negative velocity depending on your axes, but you hit the ground and like if there's a bunch of fuel inside, I think that puts a lot of pressure on the joints of the plane. I could be making some of that up because it's heavy, and so like if you have a bunch of fuel out at the tip of the wings, then it's like a ton of pressure on them.
Right.
But I don't know. I've also seen when you're flying in you can see the wings. I'm making a motion with my arms right now, waving up and down.
I guess imagination.
Yeah, I guess Boeing has a device that they use to on their prototypes at least to like test how far the wings will bend without snapping, and it's absurd. I mean, it's like a giant like curve upward, and nothing you're gonna encounter in real life. You'll probably die in a plane crash from something else, not the wing breaking off, which is pretty reassuring to me.
I love shit like that. I've always loved like when they have videos of like when they stress test like the the Tough Book is that laptop that they like send to Afghanistan.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, they stick them in like fire and they hit them with stuff and they freeze it and they like drop it from really high and stuff. All right, dope. So we are up in the air, man.
This podcast.
You're saying that the Seljuk Turks show up.
Mm-hmm.
And the Byzantine emperor himself rides out with the crew to turn them back.
Yep, and he's captured alive, which is just a disaster. I don't know. I mean, I've sometimes thought about what it would be like if the president were leading troops and like was captured in battle, and it seems like an advantage of the American system that it's like the president just doesn't matter that much, like who it is at any given point in time. Like I don't know how much like if Biden was like fighting in the Straits of Taiwan and the Chinese captured him, it's like how much would you pay for Biden? I don't know. I mean,
I'd be mad. I'm not Biden's biggest fan, but I'd be mad.
Yeah, I'd be mad, but like it's a republic and he's not really a symbol for stuff. Like he's got a vice president, she can just step in. Like It's not like the United States belongs to Biden, and so like if he falls, then this great symbol of the country falls. It's like nah, Mr. President. He's one schmo. Set up some kind of prisoner exchange or something.
He's got a job. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Valkyrie Harris will retrieve him from the enemy.
A crack squad led by Kamala Harris.
Right. I was just thinking about this like 2 days ago because I was watching Troy, and I remembered that Odysseus is a king, and he's in the Trojan horse.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I'm not a monarchist, but mad respect for the people who actually went out and like led their troops in the battlefield.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's like you haven't. I don't know. It's very full of like lore, and I'm like. And like the vibe of it is very like heroic and stuff, and I'm a little bit tentative to like say I know what that means or whatever, but it does feel like it tells you something about their virtue or something like that. I don't know, being like tested in.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like I don't know, like this summer with some of the protests, like you saw like the mayor of Portland, what's his name, Ted Wheeler, and the one in Minneapolis,
right,
whose name I don't remember, but like. Jared Frey, is that right?
Is that the mayor?
I think so, or it's an old coworker of mine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the guy in Minneapolis, like
Ted Wheeler.
No, he was Portland. So the one in the one in Minneapolis, like
Jacob.
There's an angry crowd. And he decides the best thing to do is to go up and get in front of the crowd, which, like, I respect that. That takes some balls. But, like, he gets up in front of the crowd and they give him a mic. And that's decision time if you're a politician, right? Like, that's heart of the matter time. If you're in front of a crowd and they're listening to you and you have a fucking microphone, like, I'm sorry. If you're a politician worth your salt, you turn that mob to whatever purpose you want. You have a mob. Like, this is a blessing. You don't make use of it.
Right.
And they end up just shouting him down and driving him off stage in shame. And he walks off with his tail between his legs. And it's like, what kind of a politician is this? Know? Like, this is like, even Brutus was better than this. Much less Anthony,
Right.
So I don't know. I definitely disrespect those people quite a lot. Not just because of the lack of physical courage.
Right.
But just like, no, I don't know. They feel more like bureaucrats in some ways, or just like kind of boneless scam artists rather than people you can imagine like picking up a sword and fighting to the death.
Right. So Eigen, as king of the internet rationalists or whatever.
Oh no, rationalists won't like that much.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you look at bison and tundra with wolves, like the wolves have a pursuit reflex. So often what will happen if they get a single one of these animals cornered is like they'll surround it in a ring and kind of snap at it. But the dogs aren't. I guess my understanding is the dogs aren't actually wired to pursue it and kill it
to this podcast.
Unless it actually runs. And
So
So
it's
I mean,
like
like,
they test the will of the one kind of thing.
yeah, and like, I mean, mobs are a really intense kind of psychological,
Oh yeah,
you know, and so I think you got to play on that level because you're not gonna beat up a mob, right?
right.
Unless
You got to
you're
use
huge.
discourse, as we've
Yeah,
trained on Twitter.com,
and
as
you
we've
know
been
what is
working towards.
it's fantastic training. I mean, God
Yeah.
created Twitter to train the faithful, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a really good book called Facing Violence
Uh huh.
that's by a guy, I think Stephen Miller, or is he the Trump guy? I don't know.
There is a
Facing
Trump guy
Violence.
named Stephen Miller.
Is there? All right. Well, maybe it's some other Miller. So
Yeah.
so Facing Violence, like,
Rory.
had Rory Miller. Yeah, that sounds right. So he's a really interesting guy. It seems like I guess he spent most of his career working in a jail and like breaking up fights between inmates, and also just
Oh wow.
it sounds like this guy gets in a lot of fights,
Okay.
and you know, like unarmed fights for the most part. But he's like, yeah, you know, there's certain, like, if there's violence, here are the major ways that violence plays out, and like, here are the different ways that it can play out. Here are the different types of psychology. And I love this book because it's built purely on his experience, right?
Right.
He's incredibly analytical, but there's none of this. I mean, it's not based on a bunch of t-tests. It's not this kind of, like, you know, masturbatory, like,
reading
gathering
a
data.
book on martial arts from like a PhD who has like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Although he talks about that too. He has a lot of opinions about martial arts, like, as somebody who goes and gets in fights. It's like, yeah, most of this shit's a waste of time, as UFC went and demonstrated later. But yeah, so he's got a couple of, like, especially important kinds of fights that can occur. So, like, there's a monkey dance where, like, one person will go and sort of, like, disrespect another person, and it'll just slowly escalate, you know, with these people, like, kind of pushing each other back and forth, and then eventually somebody throws a punch. And mobs seem quite a lot more dangerous.
Right.
And he calls that a group monkey dance, where typically there's, like, one large group of people that's kind of acting in concert, psychologically speaking. And, you know, with that, he's like, no, you just got to get out of there. Like, they kind of are psyching themselves up to brutally hurt you or just straight up kill you.
Right.
And you're not going to beat something like that as a single person, unless perhaps you're huge and they're not huge, and you can inflict some kind of dramatic, heroic act of violence on somebody and make an example of them.
This is like the Ender's Game maneuver.
I think. Oh yeah,
Right.
like that kid in the showers where he just kicks his balls until he spits up blood. Jesus, that was violent.
Well, it specifically in Ender's Game, if I recall correctly, it's something like there's some line of reasoning, like, you don't pick the biggest person, but you pick, like, the biggest person you can beat in, like, a sudden act of, you know, whatever, to kind of scare the crowd kind of thing. I know you've been on some podcasts, so I feel like there's going to be a set of things that people will have already asked you about. Okay, I got to make sure this plane doesn't fucking crash. Also, it's just pointing at the sky for some reason.
It's kind of, it's, wow, shit. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not going to get on a plane if you're flying. Possibly if you're on it, just like by...
Especially if I'm flying it with a DualShock 4 controller.
Yeah. Okay. Vectin wants to know about Monogatari. Monogatari is great. So Monogatari is an anime series. God, this is such a softball. Just go watch Monogatari. It's weird as hell, but and a little bit inscrutable, but the art is just breathtaking.
This is anime.
Such a...
This sounds like
anime. It's anime. Yeah, is this an anime podcast or stream?
It totally can be.
Yeah. No.
Does that mean is that a dog whistle if I say yes or no? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the implications are.
Right.
I've been, like, low key anime for most of my life.
You know what I mean?
You should investigate the 19th and 18th century weebs of England. Like, they used to be really fucking cool.
Right.
Like, you know, these people in England who were just like, you know what, fuck England, I want to see what China's like. And, you know, at that time it was illegal to just, like, wander around China if you were European. But this guy named Manning did. Like, he grew a giant beard, and he hired a Chinese guy to, like, smuggle him into the country, and he learned Chinese, and he just wandered around and claimed to be Tibetan, and they just kind of let him do it until they found him suspicious and eventually like banished him from the country. But you know, him or like T. Lawrence, who was kind of an Arab weeb, or like,
of course. There's probably a word for that. I don't know what it is, and it's probably a little offensive, but I'm sure there's a word for Arab, like a Middle Eastern.
Arabu? That does sound offensive and also wrong. I don't know. Eigen is a math thing. Like you get an eigenvector or, you know, an eigenvalue, and you start at an eigenvalue. You can just like build it into additional dimensions, and I think by extrapolation, eventually you just get a robot. So that's it. That's the joke.
Oh fuck! Oh shit! Hold on. We're having a problem here with the.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
All right. All right.
Wow, that's really hard water.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. Like, I guess surface tension.
So it's because I turned off crash, so we're gonna swim. We're so close to Constantinople.
Oh man!
I'm gonna have to put us back in the air real quick. Pardon this interruption. Why don't you handle?
Yeah. Okay.
Someone said fix the trim, and I clicked a button, and then it's just like, no, we're going in the water right now. All right, you grab a question.
It's like, I don't know, Krugman doesn't do much economics anymore, and he doesn't. It's sad, you know. Like, Krugman's a really, really smart fucking guy, and some of his older work was fantastic. Like, it's like he wrote this thing in 1997, which is like just really, really aggressively classical economics, right? It's he wrote it on Slate, which published it in 1997. If you want to see a sense of how much the internet has changed, or at least Slate, but like he writes this article, which I think is a pretty good article, praising cheap labor and like making a moral argument for free trade and sweatshops, and like, you know, it's successful. And I just can't see him doing that now. You know, he takes himself way too seriously. Yeah. And I don't know, it's a little bit heartbreaking seeing people decay like that. But maybe that just happens to everybody. And I'm definitely looking out for that in myself. Like, am I taking myself seriously right now? How can I stop that? Why am I doing this? What's wrong with me? I think I'd have a really hard time with that, which I guess is one of the reasons I'm glad to go to work every day. And like, you know, I work inside of a firm, and the only people who look at my work are people who work for that firm. And it's actually really liberating because they want to know the truth about things, because if they're not well informed, then, you know, they lose money. Right. And I don't have to like play up to any audience. I just like deliver analysis as efficiently as I can every day. And then I can go into the public sphere and say whatever I want. And I'm not answerable to anybody. But I used to work at a job that was much more publicly facing as an economist. And that was actually terrible. Like, everything went through public relations, or went through government relations, which is even darker, frankly. Like, you know, if your company is big enough to have a lobbying outfit, like there's some of that. And especially if you're doing like air quotes research, you know, a lot of that is for political consumption. And I just hated that. It was soul destroying.
Have you ever read any of Carol Quigley's stuff?
The name is familiar, but I don't know her off the top of my head.
It's actually he.
Carol.
Yeah. No, well, you know, old Polish name. I don't know how many male Carols you meet nowadays. I'm looking on my shelf to see if I have it like immediately on. Yeah, I do. The Evolution of Civilizations I have right here is a fantastic book. I'll just show it to the camera in case anybody's interested. I shill this whenever I can, because Quigley is basically one of the best historians I've ever read, just full stop. In particular, his theory is really good. We are creeping up on Constantinople. I will shut up in a second so we can actually do that. But anyway, one of the major anchors of his theory of history is sort of the difference between institutions that can make economic progress, where he has a definition there that's like a very generic, like savings and investment it's sort of like a Robinson Crusoe style, like, you know, you spend 8 hours making a long stick that can like poke down more pineapples, or you just like pick the pineapples one at a time, but you like increase your pineapple rate. You know, the sort of like thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, but his whole
pineapple rate, yeah, I do.
The pineapple rate, yeah. I'm gonna do a loop so we can do the Dardanelles tour the right
Yes.
way. The
Is that the Golden Horn? It might be. I don't actually quite know where anything is.
yeah, I don't
I
really
thought
know.
it stuck out more.
I've actually been here, but before I knew any history, unfortunately. So I think
Oh
it was
man.
lost on me. Anyway, Carol Quigley's great. His whole thing basically is that much of how history turns is based on whether the institutions become like very political and inward facing in this sort of degenerate way versus
Yeah.
functional and able to like track the truth, right? So kind of sounded like what I was hearing from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that right now. Let's see
Nice.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Evolution. Oh wow, that's cheap as hell.
He's great on like epistemology stuff. Like he spends some time at the beginning explaining like how science works like a little bit, but you can tell he's like irritated that people kind of don't
Has to
don't
do
get it.
this. Yeah.
Oh my god, the people are talking about cat ears. We gotta do Dardanelles first. All right. Oh, you know what? Is this the Hagia Sophia? I'm going closer. I think I'm seeing it.
I think it is. I think I see the minarets.
I can zoom in a little. Though, how many of these are there? Are there like?
I mean, there's definitely only one Hagia Sophia.
Yeah.
I thought it was more on a hill, but I might be making that up. That's definitely the Hagia Sophia. So I'm trying to figure out where the walls are.
Beautiful.
Hey there. Yeah, minarets were an addition after Mahmud conquered the city. I don't know what that second church is.
Uh-huh.
But
Oh,
man,
yeah, I
there has to be.
guess it's a mosque now again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Turkey, man, Turkey's had a hell of a time. So somewhere along there, there's like, I mean, it's really interesting. And Constantinople was just so fucking hard to assault. So
Yeah.
the reason that the Greek Empire lasted as long as it did was the Emperor Theodosius built a series of like incredibly large walls that walled off that end of the peninsula,
Mm.
and it made it incredibly difficult to assault, and by any means, and certainly by land.
Right.
And so like these walls basically were all that kept the city alive through a couple of periods in its history, but like nobody was able to take the city just for 1,000 extra years after the fall of Rome, because this one fucking wall, or series of incredibly tall and broad walls, just basically lasted until well into the gunpowder age.
Where is the wall? It's like a yeah.
I think they've mostly taken it down now, but there are still some segments that are up. But
Yeah.
it kind of ran across the end of the peninsula
I
and like blocked it off. So it was like really efficient. You only needed a wall on one side, and the rest was
like cut off the tip kind of thing. So I thought I was on the right. I thought I was in the Dardanelles, but I was not. I went up some other tributary type of situation. So let me turn back to where we're supposed to be. Yeah, I wonder what all the people down there are thinking about. That's a great question. Probably thinking in Turkish. For the most part. You wouldn't be able to understand them if you heard.
Wait, do you think in English?
I think I do.
Well, no, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Most of my thoughts feel pretty pre-verbal.
Yeah.
Like just these kind of like mostly abstractions. Just
Right.
kind of like I mean, just sort of a blob that takes density at different parts. I don't know. I'm not really explaining it well. It's really, really hard to put into words.
Right.
Occasionally I will think of shapes, but very rarely actual words.
My opinion is that there's been regression in psychology.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. So like, I'm not like an expert on the like William James style phenomenologists, right? But I think they were doing like they were like making really extended investigations into like mental stuff and trying to describe it and record it, right?
Yeah.
And Freud, that's a type of introspective stuff, though it's mixed in introspection and like theoretical analysis, like where you have the trained Freudian practitioner telling you like, okay, well, now that you want to fuck your mother, right? And then behaviorism, of course, is anti mind stuff. They don't really believe it is there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that was all Skinner, right?
Yeah, E.F. Skinner.
Yeah, I got a little bit of this growing up. Not really, but both of my parents were psychometricians, so they Yeah, it was a really, I mean, it was a fun household to grow up in.
That's a
They
cool origin story.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, they were really mostly just statisticians, and
Yeah.
I mean, my mom didn't even. I don't want to dox myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, I think they were both left pretty disenchanted by the field, and like
Right.
their views of other psychologists were incredibly negative. And I mean, now of course the entire field as it exists is total
Dead and
crap. I mean, like you can't trust any of that stuff. So
Right.
I'm a little bit curious how long like how long psychology departments continue to exist, but I don't
Right.
know. I don't see a lot of value add there.
All right, so we've traversed the Dardanelles, and I did promise that I would do this grotesquely shameful thing involving the cat ears. So I do have to ask you just to sort of just to know, okay? So I did tweet, if Eigenrobot goes on the show, I will put on the cat ears. What I want to know is, do you
It's
think...
my fault now.
No, not your fault. Not your fault. It's my fault. I take full responsibility. You know, I am a man. I choose my way in the world. But I do want to know, if I had not, do you think that had any effect on your decision?
I mean, I definitely would have done it without the cat ears.
Fuck.
It's
Okay.
I don't remember the original set of tweets.
Basically, so whenever somebody's on the show, I tell people who are on, in chat, like, tag people if you want them to be on the show, right? So somebody might have said something, but then at a certain point, because Rival Voices had challenged me to put on cat ears, I was like, fuck it, if Eigen goes on the show, I'll wear them. So I did just want to know if that had any effect. So I may have been over eager and I will learn a lesson from that. So I do have these cat ears here.
Yeah, I'm a cheap date, so
Yeah. Good to know. You guys seeing this shit? So I got this on Amazon. It was like $11. Let's make sure the plane doesn't crash. This is very interesting. And then the thing here.
man, wild advances in engineering.
Right.
I kind of have to think that one of the first uses of like transhumanist technology is definitely going to be the creation of cat boys and cat girls.
Oh my God.
I mean, people are furries. Okay, so apparently furries
Right.
are genuinely like pretty rich because apparently fursuits cost a lot.
Okay.
And I gotta think that if you're a transhumanist,
This one didn't cost that much. All right, I'm gonna put this on. 15 fucking minutes. That's all you get. 15 fucking minutes. I'm setting an alarm here. 15 minutes.
I think it's charming.
Thank you.
I think it suits you.
I haven't even looked. I look like fucking Mickey Mouse. I look like fucking Mickey Mouse. I hate it. Alright, man. I fucking hate it. This timer, I'm putting real prominent, and this shit's getting off my goddamn head.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm
Thank you,
talking about.
Malty. Thank you. Tell us about the lighting in the background. I just got some LEDs on LED strips. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I am just flying in circles. We should pick a destination. Thank you, Malty. So sweet of you. I feel like these aren't like cat ears. I feel like these are like rat ears. I've actually heard that the behaviorists put your ears further apart. I've heard that the behaviorists didn't believe in mental stuff is a little bit of a simplification, actually. Yeah, maybe Skinner just didn't have mental experience. Put the ears further apart, huh? I don't fucking know, man. Oh shit! I lost an ear. Christ. Skinner associated thought with the probability of verbal behavior as a mere predecessor and predictor of speech. Okay, yeah, because speech is an externally visible action.
God, I hate that.
What?
Like, even just that entire. I hate the commenters. No. Oh wait, that was my wife. Wow. Well.
Go on.
Not wearing glasses, couldn't make out the handle.
Right.
I love you. So, man. Anyway,
You're no, please.
the robots posting their L's online.
Well, there's an
And-
interesting thing about the behaviorists, which is they at least managed to figure out how to train animals to do weird shit, and that's an interesting effect.
Yeah, but hunter gatherers did that too. You know.
That's yeah. I guess that is true. I mean, do you know about the bomb pigeons or whatever?
Oh, I think I heard
Hell
about those. Were those the
yeah! That's
Japanese
what I'm
ones?
talking about.
The sorry, the sub was screaming in my ear when you said that. Thank you, Andre, for the sub. What did you say? Yes, it was the
with that-
Japanese thing.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a cat
Welcome
who is pushing
to
up against
this
my microphone. If
podcast.
there's any
So there were both
Drink.
bats and pigeons, bats and birds. The
Bats?
yeah, the bats were supposed to go into the eaves of buildings with like incendiary stuff and burn them down because the Japanese buildings were like paper.
Oh
And
right, yeah.
it happened accidentally once in like Los Alamos or something, and there's crazy pictures of it. Oh no, I don't know if I have this confused or not. Olga of Kiev is somebody to read about. She's a very, very cruel sort of Kievan Russian saint.
Welcome to this podcast.
Oh, she's a cruel saint?
A cruel saint. She like burned people alive.
Man, cruel saints thesis. Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I guess the Orthodox do things differently. They've got a really good aesthetic going. I mean, I love the onion top dome, onion church things. Love the beards. Love the sprinkling holy water on ICBMs. Like really top notch stuff. It's a statement, you know.
Yeah, I like the chanting.
Mm.
I
Do
actually,
they chant? I don't know if I've ever seen a service.
oh dude, hold on. I'm gonna pause my music here. Open this up real quick. Open up my. Hopefully the plane won't crash itself.
This plane's not going to crash itself. Yeah, let's get out there.
All right, here. You can unmute the thing so you can hear this. I'm gonna hit play. This is a minute and a half long. So let me know if you guys can't hear it. Can you hear this, Eigen? And by the grace of God, the plane did not crash. What's up, Moo Twitches?
Mood twitches, man. Welcome. I don't know you. Mood twitches. What do you feel like you've stumbled into? I'm really curious about that. Like, what kind of vibes are you getting from this?
Oh no, I lost an ear.
Yeah. Posting. I support that. Man, okay. So I should grab some more questions from Twitter.
Totally.
Yeah, is your 15 minutes up?
Let me- no. No, we got 4 minutes, 36 seconds left.
Okay, cool. All right. Favorite Roman politician.
All right.
That's a good question. I mean, I respect Diocletian for his devotion to cabbages.
Welcome.
Was it cabbages?
to
I
this
can't remember.
podcast.
I don't
Might have
know
been
this
cabbages.
story. I don't know this story.
Oh yeah, so Diocletian was the guy who set up the Tetrarchy with basically setting up the entire like east side west side split. And
Oh, cool.
so he was pretty incompetent in a lot of ways and like terrifying in others. He kind of shed the last vestiges of, yeah, this is just a republic, guys. What are you talking about?
Right.
But he didn't want to rule until he died. And so he retired to his fucking estate.
Mm-hmm.
And he his successors kept calling him back and tried to get him to help them stave off various political crises. And
Right.
he wrote back to them saying, no, 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 you don't understand. If only you could see the cabbages that I'm growing here, you would see that I couldn't return to you. And so I sort of respect that. It's like Cincinnatus, but sort of more deranged. He's good. I mean,
I was going to ask you, does that vibe like kind of kooky to you, or does it vibe like he's trolling them, or does it vibe like he's just actually being totally fucking wholesome and straightforward? And he's like, no, there's something else I have going on.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been just an excuse. I mean, okay. First of all, I don't think anyone actually knows for sure, but it did seem like he didn't want to go back into power at all.
Yeah.
Which I think is reasonable because I think his daughter got killed, something like that. But yeah, so he was kind of an interesting character. I mean, you know, Caesar himself. He's pretty incredible. I mean, Augustus is great, but like Augustus was really more of a committee, and Caesar himself was like an army, so he's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. Cincinnatus is a good guy. You know, if you're gonna have a dictator, it seems like he's a solid choice.
I want to like Augustus more, and I do like Augustus is like probably I don't know. I guess might even be contentious. I feel like Augustus is like objectively the GOAT, but I like Julius better myself. That's just a personal preference.
Yeah, no, he's more impressive. I mean, like Julius is this kind of a, I don't know. Napoleon is a him-like character. But he seems like he's one of these people in history, like Napoleon, who just have this sort of endless energy. I mean, you know, everybody is always talking about like the speed with which Julius made decisions and acted on them, and like he's always catching marches on people. And I mean, the dude just, I mean, he's ballsy. He just like sees a situation. His OODA loop is incredibly short. You know, he just like observes, orients immediately, and then just decides and acts without hesitation.
Yeah.
Contra Pompey, who's, you know, just always fucking hesitates a bit. So, and you know, unlike Augustus, I mean, like, you know, Caesar went out and fought in his own battles and, you know, put himself at great physical risk, which I respect more as I've gotten older. Maybe risking your life is actually not that risky, you know? I mean, I've been in a couple of situations where somebody could have pretty plausibly killed me and they just didn't. And
like intentionally violently.
Yeah, intentionally violently. So like mostly, I mean, like once in college,
by the way, I'm at 0 seconds for these fucking
congratulations.
So the deed has been done. Let no one say I do not make good on my commitments, no matter how foolish they may have been. Let it not be said. I cast it away. All right.
Egg. Hey, Egg. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so there was one night where I was out with some buddies to this really shitty bar in Minneapolis called You Otter Stop In. And terrible dive bar. There was a mural of a bunch of otters drinking on the side of it. It was in a then crumbling part of town that's since gentrified very quickly. But you know, they had like sloppy karaoke every night. And you know, mostly locals who were just super drunk, and then occasionally college kids like us. And we got very drunk, and then a girl convinced me to snort Adderall in the men's room with her.
Yeah.
And
as you do.
Yeah, I don't know. And so anyway, and so it turns out that's a terrible idea. I can't recommend it.
Yeah.
Like I was already pretty drunk, and then having an upper like that was just torture. And I had like blue time release Adderall, like snot for about a week.
Jesus.
But yeah, so we went back to my place, and long story short, I ended up accidentally letting in a guy who was there to go and bother a woman who had broken up with him.
Oh no.
And I knew that this guy existed, and I buzzed him in. And just as I was drifting off to sleep, I was like, "Oh shit! I hope that wasn't the guy." And
Uh-huh.
just at the moment I thought that, I heard this banging from the hallway.
Uh-huh.
So like, so like while simultaneously on amphetamines and very very drunk, I threw on this enormous bathrobe that I had, and just like started stomping down the hall toward him. I was like, "Buddy, you need to leave."
Uh-huh.
And I mean, like, fortunately he turned around and
Adderall
and
voice.
ran. Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, I must have been a nightmare, but like, I don't know. I mean, that guy could have had a gun and just shot me. It's
Right.
totally plausible. There's another time where there was I was
It
this
does-
time I was
But it's not like you do anything differently, right? In retrospect.
no,
Like,
yeah, no. I mean, like, how could I do anything else? Like, you
there's
guys
a
trying to
time
break
for
through-
it. There's a time.
Yeah,
For it,
yeah. And I wonder if I just have an impulse to do that maybe other people don't. It's not totally clear to me, and it feels sort of out of my control. But there's a similar situation like that with a car full of guys who were like sort of driving off, and there was some drunk girl outside, and they had her by the hair, and like I ran at them, but it's a car full of guys. They could have laid me flat, and
Right.
they just drove off instead. So maybe the important thing is to just be Caesar-like and
Right.
not hesitate and just act and rely on other people to respond to you acting rather than keeping the script. I don't know.
This is another reason I'm thinking of Quigley for you, by the way, because he wrote a book called Weapons Systems and Political Development or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And the first chapter is available online. The actual book, he never published it for real. They just found the manuscript and published the like typewritten things like as photocopies in a bound book form. So it's kind of janky. It's in like Courier font or whatever. But anyway, he's got this theory. He sort of has he's doing this like very theoretical thing where he places warfare as like something like I'm probably going to mangle it, but something like the physical actions involved to change the will of the opponent. And for him,
Yeah.
the central thing, it's not destroying the opponent. That's not what war is. It's destroying the will of the opponent, right? Because
Yeah.
you capture troops, you capture areas. You don't always have to go full, Assyrian on their asses and like kill everyone in the city, right?
Was that a Quigley original?
That concept.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I feel like Clausewitz might have something like that, but I actually haven't read enough of Clausewitz to know. Also, by the way, we could go anywhere else in the world. Easy to get out and in. We could go to China. We could go to fucking anywhere. So, if
You wanna go to Minneapolis? I could give you a tour.
Oh shit! Plane's moving. Here I am fiddling with the dials. And the
Oh
plane.
shit! No, don't go off the runway. It's icy.
we're getting back on. Probably the runway's fucking icy too.
So Magdalena Solis, if you haven't heard of her, was a prostitute in Mexico who was paid by a couple of scam artists.
By the way, Rainbow. Just so you know, Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Minneapolis Rainbow.
Oh, that's sweet. I stopped
happened.
watching the stream, but
It's almost, it looks like a double rainbow.
oh I think it is. I think it's a double rainbow. Is that simulated, do you think, or did they just like
just throw it in there?
Yeah.
It would be. I don't know how they would simulate it. That would be so cool, though.
Yeah, but
Auspicious. But you were talking about this lady.
yeah, Magdalena Solis. So she was a prostitute, like a poor prostitute who was hired by I think a couple of brothers in Mexico to run a scam on some villagers and like convince them that she was a reincarnation of some Incan deity.
Uh-huh.
And it worked, and then it worked too well, and they started running, I mean, frankly, like blood orgies where they would like sacrifice pigs, and then they were sacrificing humans, and then the police came and they started sacrificing police, and I think they were all arrested eventually. I'm not quite sure what happened to her.
When in history
But-
is that?
This was, I think, early 1900s.
By the way,
Man, they don't even have her birth date. This is in 2 to 4 victims. That seems low. But yeah, okay. High Priestess of Blood. She was arrested in late May in 1963.
High Priestess of Blood. This sounds like a great movie.
Right?
If they did,
Sounds like-
yeah. If they did it well, it would be easy to do it like a kind of generic horror movie. But if it's
Holy
super
shit.
accurate,
She's still alive.
oh my god, dude! I don't know if I could get her on
Yeah, I was gonna
on the
say.
show, but you should. You should get her on yours. That would be a great way to start your
Do you think she has a
podcasting
Twitter
career.
account?
Holy shit.
Okay. So, God, I wish I knew that. I feel like a bad Minnesotan for not knowing the layout of the lakes better.
to this
Okay, I think you're
podcast.
way in the North Burb, so you want to turn around
Okay.
and probably head back. Okay, we've got
Shit. We're good.
oh shit. Oh,
We're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah.
but yeah, this is actually startlingly realistic as a depiction of what Minnesota's like in the winter. This is incredible.
Yeah, it is cool. All right, like who is Eigenrobot? So, how just the basics. Like, when did you get on Twitter?
I was on Twitter in like as myself in 2007, 2008 maybe.
Okay.
Oh no, it must have been 2008, 2009. I wasn't when I was an undergrad, and I started. I lived in Richmond for a couple of years with, and hung out with a bunch of psychotic people, like a bunch of trust funders who basically drank PBR all day. They were good people.
Yeah.
That's where I met Moot at one of their parties. But
Oh, cool.
yeah, no, he's good. Just
I might know somebody who dated Moot.
dated.
Or
Wow.
like,
Wait.
it might have been like went on a date with more than dated. Oh, you know what? I see a city in the distance. I'm going to go towards that, assuming that that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so 2007, 2009. When did you start like tweeting a lot?
Tweeting a lot, probably more like 2015, 2016, something like that. I think I saw somebody retweet a Weird Sun account, and I followed them. This happened once or twice, and then I started
Right.
getting recommendations to follow other Weird Suns. And one afternoon, I just went through and followed as many of them as possible. I thought they were great. I thought they were ingenious. And
Right.
then, from there, it was pretty quick, just getting to know everybody else. But so I think that was probably my starting point. And I didn't get really pretty weird and deranged until maybe, I don't know, honestly, maybe like late 2015, like early election cycle when people were just starting to crack.
Right.
I mean,
right.
like I didn't participate in Gamergate or anything like that. I still refuse to learn what that is.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the 2016 election, people just started losing it.
Yeah.
And around that time, so like
Was it worse than this last one? In your opinion?
yeah, I think so. It was worse in the sense that I don't know, the like psychic energy was at a much higher rate. This time felt similar but like sadder,
Yeah.
and media were actively trying to fight Trump rather than like play him up. And like this time around, Trump is a known candidate. Oh hey, okay, so that bridge you're about to fly toward
Yeah.
is a bridge that collapsed.
This
and-
bridge.
Yeah, okay, so you got those two bridges there.
Yeah.
The one on the side I used to walk across going to and from campus.
Oh,
The
cool.
one on the right, the double, that motherfucker fell over, like just completely collapsed in maybe 2008. I know because I
Wow.
was 15 minutes away from driving across it. Missed death by a narrow margin.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Bridge collapse in Minneapolis of 2008. Wild time. So yeah, this is Minneapolis. That building over there, I don't know if that's the new stadium. We had a Metrodome for a while, and I guess that was like an old and
Oh,
shitty
this
stadium.
thing. I'll move my mouse on. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that thing right over there. Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You're kind of flying over. So if you look off to the right, that's kind of the area where most of the, like far to the right and starting to get a little bit behind you now is
Uh-huh.
area that was burning down with the mobs this summer.
Oh, okay. Kind of by the
Yeah.
stadium.
Yeah, I think you water stop in is definitely visible from from this
Yeah.
vantage point. Like I couldn't pick out the specific building, but it's definitely there.
And they're in the bathroom. Someone's snorting Adderall.
So the post rats as they existed then was mostly kind of a different crew than those who have stuck around on Twitter.
Right.
Not entirely, but and some of the same dramatis personae, but you know, real old guard are like, you know, Banana, Tao. There's some others who I've somewhat parted ways with. I think they're still floating around, but not so much on Twitter. And honestly, all of the before time is sort of blending together for me now. Like I remember it used to be the case that for a few years, like I would fly to different places in the country and people would just be hosting get-togethers for post rats and like adjacent people. And
Right.
like I haven't been to one of those in so long, and it just feels like this different era of my life, which is terrible.
Just because life meant you didn't do it, or is it like the pandemic in particular?
No, the fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
No, are you kidding? I
Yeah,
get tons
okay.
of PTO. Like,
Right.
you know, plane tickets. You know, it's exhausting to fly, but plane tickets are like reasonably priced if you fly cheap.
I guess what that makes me think of is the rationalist thing. So I'm also kind of curious to know how you ran into all that stuff and sort of. Uh-oh. I think my game crashed. I think my game crashed. All right, give me a second to fix that up. Rip. Damn. What happened? What did I do?
What's the most complex concept I could explain to a 6-year-old? I think I was hanging out with Polymath's daughter. I don't know whether she was 6. Maybe she's a little bit older, like 7 or 8 or 9. I think I explained genetics to her, like inheritance from her parents. Pretty sure that was successful. She seemed to get it. Did she understand that?
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah. Okay. I successfully explained evolution, or like, you know, inheritance to a 9-year-old. I'm pretty proud of that.
That's pretty good. Got my game set up here, so we're back in action. I'm gonna save you guys from the data science talk. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Everybody's not into that.
no, this is cool. Sorry, real quick. I have this trainer thing on so I can make myself immortal, and I can jump real high. And this is really super fun. This is just modded, just ridiculous modded stuff. Like,
And it's a flight sim.
yeah, we're doing flight sim. Don't worry, guys. So far, but like, you know, this monkey.
Rhesus. So is that? Did they actually make that model in the game? I guess if there's a zoo,
Yeah, there might be a zoo or something.
or it could be custom.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes. Get some monkey business. So I don't know whether it's bad to be violent, but this. So I just died somehow.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, I
Oh,
I don't know what just happened.
I thought you were invincible.
Yeah, I was. There's something with these other models that they just kill you real fast. So are you kind of how black-pilled are you?
I think I'm like locally black-pilled, but less so in the long term. Like, did you see what OpenAI dropped today?
No, I didn't. Someone in the chat was mentioning OpenAI though, so I guess maybe somebody here has seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of mad about OpenAI, just because of the way they operate, but it does seem like they do incredible work. And so the thing that dropped tonight, which no one, you know, as far as I know, is ever going to get to use because of their policies about, you know, who has access to it. But like, you just type in the description of what you want to see in a picture, and then it draws that, and it's really fucking good. Let me grab a link.
Oh, so hold on. Could you be like blonde woman in t-shirt that says "That's so cult"?
Yes, you could absolutely do this.
Wait, can we do that? OpenAI just announced DALL-E, a neural network that can generate images based on text. It's incredible. It's going to help us with 4 brilliant avocado chairs. Dude, those are great chairs. Holy shit. A baby daikon radish in a tutu walking a dog. Pikachu in a suit playing grand piano. Oh, wow.
Amazing. Some of those look pretty weird.
Yeah,
but
some of them are sticking their heads in the piano, and like the middle one's real Holy crap! This is like profile pics for days.
Yeah. I mean, like, some of these are genuinely fantastic profile pics, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This one is freaking me out. Um, how do I get
I don't
closer?
want Pikachu as an extra ear. That's interesting. A lot of them do.
Yeah. It's terrifying though. People say, yeah, this I think is my favorite so far. Let me just.
How about the one where he's sort of becoming the piano?
Oh yeah, this one in the middle. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like a. There's definitely something Pikachu-ish about it though.
A thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately, I'm not sure if I've been talking about it, but I've been thinking about it, is you read in history, like, and then the population went mad
Mhm.
and did all of this crazy shit. Like, you think about the revolution in Paris in 90, well, I mean, like 89 to whatever, but
Right.
1793, especially in 94 during the terror. And it's like, that mindset would have been completely alien to me before this year. Like,
Yeah.
it just would not have made sense to me that, like, oh yeah, and then everybody lost their fucking minds
Right.
all at once
Oh yeah.
and started chopping off heads in the street. But now it's like, okay, yeah, I feel like I have some firsthand experience with that, and I can totally see how this would go down. And I mean, I wonder if there's an extent to which, partly it's just a function of becoming an old and living through like more than one time,
Yeah.
like, or more than one zeitgeist, maybe.
It's
But-
interesting too because I talked to my parents about it, right? Because like my parents lived through the '60s, and they were like, "Oh my God, all this crazy stuff's happening on TV," and I'm like, "Didn't you live through the fucking '60s? Like, like what about that?" They're like, "Oh yeah," and they kind of thought about it, but it might have been also that they were a little bit too young then. Romeo plus Juliet.
Romeo plus Juliet, yeah, it's I always forget his name. Possibly the greatest adaptation ever. Baz Luhrmann.
This isn't the one with Leonardo DiCaprio now?
Yes, I
Oh,
think
this
it
is.
is. It is. No, it's amazing. It is incredible cinematography. Well, I mean, it's like, it's possibly the most 90s movie.
I
It's
loved
incredibly
it.
Yeah, no, it's so good. I mean, there was a Twitter thread that I can't find anymore, but this Twitter thread goes into the long history of adapting Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And how, like, if you try and move something to a modern setting, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that, like, people are talking about daggers,
Right.
and so like, shit, but nobody is like carrying around a fucking dagger in 1993. So do you, like, just have the person say dagger but shoot themselves, or do you like change the line, or how do you deal with, or just
Right.
like,
You commit a crime against humanity and change
Yeah.
Shakespeare's language.
yeah, no. So and they just put fucking dagger on the gun.
Right.
That's all they did. It's dagger branded gun, and it's just beautiful. It's incredibly Chad, basically, like just flipping the table, doing the most absurd thing, and doing it with all the courage of their convictions and making it work. I admire that.
You're making me want to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm making me want to rewatch it too. I've come to really somewhat dislike the Beatles over time. So
Yeah. This has been one of my edgy opinions, is that I don't like the Beatles. But
I think that's almost the standard opinion now.
Is
like, yeah, I think the luster is wearing off. Like, there was a big Beatles revival in the 90s. I think probably long enough after Lennon was dead that people could remember him as like some kind of a hero instead of a sellout and
Yeah.
kind of a dick. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought about getting some albums, and I thought about getting, Abbey Road or something. I was like, I just don't want to do it.
we got a request to turn into a killer whale, so I'm going to try to do that once I
Do it.
get my. There's a hump there.
Stingray. Stingray sounds enticing.
All right, let's try Stingray. I haven't done that yet. Hey, on a Stingray. Now what? Woo!
Is that
Okay, I just died. Yeah, I just died. There's something sketchy about these.
All right.
Yeah. See, there's a problem, which is that I might respawn as the Stingray and break the game. Yeah, no, I just died. So then I get into this I'm just dying loop. I think you just maybe insta die when you when you get out of the water. And so now I'm in a like some kind of my guy respawns with like a black eye. And then yeah, I die as a stingray once again. So
It's interesting. It's interesting you can like identify the exact moment that the like pre-rendered cutscene stops.
you're right.
Just immediately transition into a stingray.
A stingray death scene. So this is like the hell loop that we've like yeah.
It's like a 15-second Groundhog Day, but you just turn into a stingray every
And
time.
then I just flop on the fucking bricks.
I guess it would have been like more post-rat if you turned into a crab. God, I wish I were drinking. Okay, I'm actually gonna start drinking. Be right back.
I have a drink myself. I have my my Lagavulin on hand for these
Oh,
occasions.
very good.
Brandy. Huh? I haven't had as much brandy in my life as I hope to. I hope to have a lot more brandy.
You can only have this if you drink a huge glass of water before bed.
I'll drink it. Mommy wife.
Moon Mom. Got downed by Moon Mom on stream.
Yeah, man. Robots posting their L's. And then I stuffed a hamburger bun in my mouth right before I went on air. But
Yeah.
that's all I had. So, what?
I'm gonna make dinner.
No, what? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll eat eventually. You don't need to make it. You're pregnant.
By the way, if Celine wants to pop in and say hello, she's
Yeah.
totally welcome.
Celine, you're welcome on the podcast if you want to, continue inflicting damage on me.
Or a full episode. Sometimes. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, or a full episode if you want.
Actually, yeah, I would do that.
I think she just consented. So,
We just got it recorded, ladies and gentlemen. We got her.
will you throw a pound?
We got her.
Will you throw a pound of hamburger in? It's pretty, it's aesthetic, it's well designed, and not user friendly. Okay, sorry.
By the way, I've changed this into, I think, an Asian man or woman or something who breathes fire. Just as
Also, his suit jacket is kind of melting into his pants. I guess that could happen if you're wearing polyester and breathing fire.
fire. Yeah, that's right. It's a little janky.
He looks very serious.
Yeah, I can even change his mood to angry, happy, injured, stressed, smug. I like
Smug. I want to see smug.
Yeah, we got smug.
Wow, that does look kind of smug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Hello.
Hello.
Apparently I'm substituting right now. What's up?
Do you see the chat here? We got people who are saying hi,
Hello.
saying welcome, Moon.
Pregnancy is extremely weird.
The yeah, you've got a human being growing inside of you. What is that like?
It's deeply incapacitating, but not in the way I expected.
Yeah. How did
So
you
there's
expect it to be?
Well, I thought that maybe the incapacitation and immobility would be a lot more about, the size of your stomach or just general fatigue, and there's definitely been fatigue.
Uh-huh.
But what I didn't expect was that there's actually this goddamn hormone called, and I shit you not, relaxin, which relaxes everything.
Huh.
And I mean everything. At about 18 weeks, I started just dropping things randomly.
Like your inhibitions.
Thank you, dear. I think that's only been like a really significant factor in the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Up until then, it was like, okay, my stomach is larger than normal, but everything is like
Yeah.
basically where I expect it to be. Other than the body map stuff, but now, no, it's like I have to sit differently. My cat wants to sit on my stomach all the time, and I have to push her away, and it breaks my heart. So.
The is Eigen doing his part? Is he being a good robot hubby?
I don't want to be too gross, but he's probably the sweetest person alive.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of hormonal breakdowns about not being able to finish the chores I wanted to finish, and
Yeah.
over the last 3 days, he's done all of the laundry, without me asking, and like aired out our mattress. And
You hear that, kids?
Oh shit! I left the sheets downstairs. I'll be right back.
all right,
Even now, he's doing the laundry.
yeah.
That is sweet. That's great.
Why are you in the air? What are you doing?
So I've got mods installed, and one of them does this. There's supposed to be like I'm supposed to look more like I'm flying right now, but that seems to have not worked. So yeah, I can turn into an animal and stuff. Man,
I think I've had dreams. I've had dreams like this.
Wait, I can still breathe fire. That's good. Oh, my walking is all messed up. I don't know how
I
to
haven't had
rotate.
dreams like that.
No, I can breathe fire. Honestly, we're on a little bit longer than I usually go, but Eigen didn't complain, so I didn't tell him that we usually go for like about 3 hours, but so we're at like 3:15. But like, this is just gravy. This is just extra credit if people want to chill or if you guys are hanging out, you know.
Yeah, we don't have a lot going on tonight.
Mm.
I was actually kind of envious earlier when you guys were talking about phenomenology. I was like, that's actually why I logged in. It's like I have things to say about this.
Let's talk about
Like-
phenomenology. This doesn't excuse you, by the way, from actually being on the talk show, because we need to actually go deep. But while you're here, say more. What are you thinking about?
Meditation, I'd always kind of hit a wall, and then I kind of started to get the hang of it around maybe the end of 2019, or just 2019 in general was a pretty good year, and or for a lot of things, but also for just kind of the introspective practice stuff. And then I was really kind of rabbit holing into a bunch of Twitter people's writing in May or March or April, and I ran across Mark Lipman's meditation protocol, which you might be familiar with.
Yeah, I know
And-
Mark. I know Mark.
Yeah. No, and it was great. It was like the shit he's working on right now is like the only thing that actually resonated, and it was like, oh, this isn't boring. It doesn't have to be boring, and I don't have to do a single minute of concentration practice if I don't want to. And I never want to. I posted a thread on Twitter the other night asking about perception of time, and so many people chimed in and like took the question seriously, and the direct experience of time seriously, and we're talking about why you might experience it one way or another. And I almost wanted to cry, partly because I'm pregnant and I cry at everything now, but also because I remember being about 4 years old and trying to have these conversations with people around me and getting blank stares. And now I'm just surrounded by people who are like, yeah, that's some weird shit, let's talk about it.
You know, I feel like there was a moment where in my life where I suddenly was around enough people that I wasn't feeling bottlenecked on like certain types of intellectual discussions anymore, and it was pretty discreet. It was just like, before this I was not getting enough of something, and now I can potentially get enough of it, you know, if I'm voracious.
Actually, I ran into that too a few years ago, and adjusting to the abundance mindset for social interaction and conversation was really weird.
Yeah.
I had to take a second and be like, okay, I don't actually have to respond to literally everything anyone says with me because it feels like the last time I'll get to.
There's an interesting thing that a lot of people don't know about 𝔽𝕝𝕚𝕚, and which is, so I was a mega fanboy for many years. In some ways, still I'm a fanboy. They're not the same type of fanboy that I was. And a lot of people don't know that in his earlier days, he, at least to me, reads as a lot more like, kind of like a crazy transhumanist type.
I've seen some of the like excerpted email threads.
Yeah. And some of these like very weird, some of them are email threads, and some of them like he might have some old website, but he's kind of talking about like the mind and like the very kind of like exquisite details of like having an intellect and like using it. And there's something extremely that I honestly don't think you see too much later on in his writing. Later on, he does talk about the 5-second level concept, which
I seem to recall that. It's been a very long time since I've read through the sequences or anything, but
the 5-second level idea is basically like all of these different rationality type ideas correspond. Like there's an experience of what it's like to do it within maybe a 5-second period.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
it orients you right on like the feeling of doing it. Like what is the move, right? Like what are the steps you take to check if you're caught in a framing or whatever the thing is. So anyway, I just found that interesting about him because there's sort of, and there's a whole thing about rationality, but like where it fits into the history of ideas that I find it's closer to some of these like introspective meditative traditions than, or even mystical traditions than a lot of people would ordinarily think from the expressed genre of the thing.
Resolving like weird confusions and weird ontological things, and I love the word ontological, but I'm always pretty sure I'm using it wrong.
If I were you, I would simply become enlightened.
Yeah, we know that you're naturally enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
You said it, not me.
He's such an asshole. He's such an asshole. I'll go on one of these I'll go on like raving like I had a really great meditation session and I experienced such and such and yada yada yada, and he'll be like, "Oh, can't everybody do that?" And I'll be like, "No, they can't." I did a bunch of psychedelics before I did much meditation stuff, and I probably did some ill-advised. I was a little bit reckless, but also it was one of those like, it was kind of the right decision to be reckless at the time.
Okay.
And so there's been like ego death adjacent stuff, which actually wasn't that interesting to me.
Okay.
Mostly I just realized that, wow, having an ego is kind of useful, and I can see why we did it. Which, I mean, and I'm kind of a shill for his content right now, which may change in a few years after I get, or months or whatever.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm kind of a shill. But one thing I love about what Mark Lippmann is doing right now is his meta protocol. Which is where you try to embed this kind of feedback loop where you're evaluating what you're doing and then asking, what about this is good? What about this is bad? How can I tell? What about this is uncertain?
Yeah.
And it just really builds up this rapid sense of self-sovereignty over what might be good for you in a given moment, which was something I was pretty lacking at the moment.
Yeah.
Eigen is dancing really absurdly right now, and I kind of wish I could share this with you.
I believe chat will be imagining the Eigen dance. I feel like it's hard to choose to do anything well at 19, but not to like, delegitimize the 19-year-old minds, but like they are kind of dumbasses, right?
Yeah, and like looking back, there's not a single thing anyone could have said to me.
Delegitimize them, they're idiots.
There's not a thing anyone could have said to me, and
Dad agrees.
After we divorced, a bunch of my friends came out of the woodwork like, yeah, we didn't expect that to last. I'm like, you said nothing. And they were like, you wouldn't have listened.
I've switched to a chimpanzee. I feel like there's something wholesome about it.
I don't think chimpanzees are wholesome.
No, chimpanzees are fucking horrifying. Is that why you think that?
I'm kind of creeped out by all monkeys and apes. I don't think they're cute or friendly. The Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah, I don't know what the line is. Do you want to swap out?
Yeah. So, I'm gonna bring Eigen back. I gotta go find something.
All right, thanks for coming by, and I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up about a true episode, if you're down for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
All right.
Oh, would you mind bringing me my booze? Hey, Al.
What's up, dude? Welcome back.
Hey, I am reasonably good and drunk at this point.
All right, properly boozed.
And I pour myself a new glass. So if there's anything that's really hard hitting,
yeah, now's a good time. Oh god, I just got hard hit right off my motorcycle.
No, I have been on an ATV. It was a mistake. With my first wife, don't go on ATVs with women, or at least don't marry women. Wow. Okay. Wow. Here we are.
Yeah. Slowly now.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
You.
No. It's good. I have nothing bad to say about my first wife, apart from the fact that we didn't work out, and I hope she is well.
Yeah.
But even so, man. So this seems like not a city. What's the deal? Is this like, are there missions that go out to the countryside and abandoned railway tunnels?
Yeah. Here, the map. Let me I can show you the map somehow if I just... How do I zoom the fuck out? Sorry. Anyway, the map's big. I'm having trouble zooming on it. But yeah, no, there's a huge map. There's a whole country thing. You even spawn into a snowy area at one point.
Uh-huh.
Tried
Interesting,
biohacking.
yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's becoming bi. Is that what I'm...
Becoming bi.
Is that what that
That's
is?
Is Vecton on here? You could make that your podcast, dude.
Yeah. Becoming bi. Marry celestial bodies only.
Highly endorse. I did not try it with amphetamines. I don't know. I'm not sure that would have made a difference. Like, it seems very clear to me as a drunk man that the space of things that like are sexually interesting is broader when you are intoxicated, to be sure. But I don't think that changes anything, actually.
So I know a dude who went really hard in the direction of trying to become like bi or gay. He like really went for it. And he said he started to be able to be attracted to dudes. And then what he noticed is that he had become even more attracted to women. And it was like what he had done.
Fucking horny all the time.
Right. It's basically that he had like sort of turned up his libido. And so that like the men to him were kind of like ugly women. I thought that was very funny.
I think that's true, though. I don't know.
Is expertise a fetish? Well, if it were, it would be fake. Correct.
Yeah, maybe we should only refer to like professional sex workers as experts in sex and can't believe anyone else. Has anyone brought this up? Like, we're listening to all these fucking amateurs about sex, but why not only
listen to the experts? Believe the science.
Believe the science.
I mean, unironically, there's something to there's something to that a little bit, but
I'm continuing to drink, by the way, so this is only going to accelerate. Like,
right.
This is my evening now. I might, after this is over, I might log off and like run an instance. I'm not sure about that. That's interesting. Oh no, I spilled fucking rye everywhere. That's often when I play Warcraft. I want to be high, and I just want to stand back, away from the action, lob frostbolts, not think too hard about what I'm doing, and just like vibe listening to audiobooks while I run a raid or run a dungeon.
Dude, I also do the audiobooks. I also do the audiobooks with games. That's why I got GTA 5. That's why I have this.
Oh yeah, can you do that in GTA 5?
I mean, I put on the audiobook just on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
But just cruise. I mean, I just drive like we're doing now.
Oh, nice. I see. If Krugman went back to how he was when he was in his 20s and in grad school, I think that would be great. And I don't know, maybe fame killed him. You know, it seems like it's hard. It seems like it's hard to hit fame and maintain a constant level of quality.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think of people who did this. I guess Augustus ruled fairly well, although there were the Julian laws. Julius Caesar, like, he did pretty well, but he got killed, so he didn't live long enough for him to become a villain.
By the way, the fact that you said Julius Caesar, fucking respects, by the way.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm drunk now, and I'm just like slipping into Latin.
No, he's telling it how it is.
I fucking love those classes. I love taking languages. They're wonderful. It's really shifting your entire cognitive state into another frame.
Right.
And the other good thing about taking introductory language is that everyone's an undergrad and they're fucking dumb. Like, they're dumb as hell, and you can learn a lot of language, and it's not even difficult competition. You just go and flex on undergrads. Interesting. I mean, like, I'm shitting on the Prussian system myself. Mm-hmm. You just crush that guy's foot.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. He was in my way. That's how GTA
works. What kind of a barbarian mindset? No, Bronze Age mindset. He was in my way. Michael Kersey, do you realize I'm taking through a combination of parental leave and PTO. I have like 5 fucking months where I'm gonna do nothing but pay attention to my child and vibe. It's gonna be amazing. It's such a gift. I'm just realizing now, like, that's it. I get paid my salary. I don't have to change my lifestyle apart from like not going to work and
Right.
taking care of the child and like paying more attention to my wife. This is like some kind of a strange blessed opportunity where I just check out of the world for a while.
It's a beautiful thing, dude. Do you think you'll still tweet?
Oh man, I have a tweet about this, it turns out. Like Moon asked me like, what would you do if you won the lottery? And I was like, I would just tweet more.
Let
I
me
don't
tell you.
Yeah.
So I started on Twitter like a year ago, almost a little more than a year. And
You're really good.
thank you. I actually overheard that you had said that I'm impossible to dunk on, which I was very. I was honored. I am honored. But let me tell you though, there were times, I shit you not, that I was looking at the tweets that were on my timeline and being like, it's clear that there's a joke here that someone made that's funny. They're nonchalant. There's something in the irony, and I just can't decode it.
Yeah.
There were times where that happened. Slowly, I'm starting to get to the point where I kind of get it all, but it took time. Like, it took time to just be like, why is this joke funny? There's something about the punctuation. Like, I did kind of nerd out about it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good, right? And I'm not reading chat right now because one, I don't have my glasses on, and two, I'm drunk. Actually, darling,
What?
Do you know where my glasses are?
Probably. I'll find him.
Would you? You're 8 months pregnant. Are you sure?
Oh, of course.
You're very
they're
sweet.
so
and
cute.
cute on you.
Anyway, so we're like this all the time. I'm like, we're gross on Twitter,
Yeah.
but that is nothing compared to real life.
Yeah.
Like, nothing at all. You have no fucking idea. We're disgusting. Cat's on the microphone again, in case there's noise. She's super into the mic.
We got a really good meow. That was a really solid meow.
Zoe, do you have anything to say?
She's super into it. This cat is wild. Like the cat that I've had for almost 16 years is Penelope. My most uncomfortable sexual experience. Yeah, I can. That's an interesting transition. So, my most uncomfortable sexual experience was the time that a woman chewed on my lips. So this was. How can I?
Did I see a tweet about this?
Yeah, you probably did. I've mentioned it a couple of times.
All right.
But like, it was terrible. So it was an ex coworker, and I had just broken up with the ex pro dom. And I guess this is the first person I hooked up with. So like, this person is cool. She's a good person, and I respect her. And I wish that she had not had a sexual experience with me like this. Like, we got very drunk at my place, and we started making out, and she started biting my lips. And I asked her if she would, and like at first it was okay. Like, you know, there's the kind of kissing where it's like, all right, this is like very slightly violent.
Right.
But that's good.
Right.
And then she like didn't stop. And I got to the point where it genuinely hurt, and not in the kinky, whatever that means, kind of hurting, but like, this is really detracting from my experience of making out with you.
Right.
And but she didn't stop, but she kept going, and eventually I said, I'd really like you to stop chewing on my lips. And she didn't. She ignored me. She laughed. And so I said, please, like, no, seriously, this is fucking painful. Stop.
Right.
But she didn't. She kept doing it. And it like, you know, and then we were having sex, and she was chewing on my lips, and it was terrible.
Vampire
and
confirmed.
Yeah, no, for real. And moral of the story is, like, I looked at my lips the next day, and it was like looking at ground beef, and it hurt like hell. Like, for the entire week, my lips were fucked up.
I don't like this dude.
So yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I guess that was the worst. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. You asked.
You're talking about Midwesternism. You have an axe to grind.
Yeah, but before that, yeah, no, I don't know. So fucking Midwesternism. Like, here's the thing: people think Minnesota nice means that you're just not willing to, like, you know, ever possibly be mean to somebody. No, Minnesota nice is being fucking passive aggressive as hell and signaling to somebody that you don't fucking like them without saying it. You know, like, you freeze somebody out and you call them a piece of shit, but you never actually say that they're a piece of shit, but you really, really communicate that to them. And, like, honestly, it's
just a different language.
It's a different language, and I think that it's a strict improvement on calling somebody a piece of shit because it's kind of face saving. You communicate to them that you don't like them and that you want them to fuck off and die, but, like, you know, they don't have to defend that socially. They just get the impression that you don't want to hang out with them and they should go away.
There's something kind of like Japanese about it.
Yeah, it's extremely guest culture, basically. And like, I don't know. Here's one place where I differ from the rationalists who are like, no, ass culture is optimal. No, fuck off. Guest culture is optimized.
I agree with you on
like,
this.
It's extremely low transaction cost. Like, you don't have to spell everything out. You just very subtly signal what you want and what you think in any given situation. And people can, like, react to that and respond to that in the same situation. And, like, nobody has to, like, go and spell out every fucking aspect of this, of like, what you're feeling at any given point in time. Like, people just get it. And that's good.
By the way, I want to express an opinion on that. I think that you would not be as popular on Twitter as you are if you did not believe the thing that you just said.
Welcome.
Yeah, right? Like, imagine if I got in fights with everybody that I was irritated with.
Or just needing to explain every little thing about exactly what you think, or, like, I think you can't give birth to the extraordinary meme unless you're right?
Peak passive aggression.
Yeah.
Anyway, wife is gonna make me drink water, so it's fine.
Keep the robot hydrated.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What was I yelling about?
Guest culture.
Guest culture. Yeah, no. Guest culture is fucking great. You can learn quite a lot about human interaction and like ways of conducting yourself. What the hell is going on in this game?
I'm trying to spawn planes, and I'm in a train right now, and it keeps blowing them up because they spawn on my train. Right.
Like, go and read a fucking Talleyrand biography. I recommend the Duffy one.
The Duffy one? I actually am literally going to write that down because I started his autobiography.
He had an autobiography?
Yeah.
Can't trust it. But even still, that's amazing. I kind of want to read that. But this is Mike Duncan, and I'm so fucking mad at Mike Duncan.
I'm also mad
right
at Mike
now.
Duncan.
And also perpetually, but, like, huh?
I'm mad at Mike Duncan for getting owned by the culture war.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah,
like, he was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
He did the entire. I'm gonna be mad. I'm mad right now. Like, fuck you, people who are like, Minnesotans can't be mad. No, fuck Mike Duncan.
Yeah.
He had a great podcast. He was really interesting. He thought about a lot of things. He introduced a lot of people to Rome,
and
which
also,
is one of the best things you can do.
The thing is, it's also part of the thing for me is it fucks with my worldview, because one of the pills you can give people to break them out of really boring approaches to, like, politics and life is teach them about history. And so when a very historically informed person who's literally written books on history gets totally blitzed by, you know, just really boring ass generic, like, nothing new here, you know, contemporary politics, it makes me just wonder, okay, what actually is the characteristic that lets people avoid that? Because I guess that's not sufficient. You know, I sort of hoped it was sufficient, but I guess it's not sufficient.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I guess, never follow your heroes, you know?
Right.
I mean...
Never follow your heroes on Twitter.
Yeah, no. Don't follow me. If I'm your hero, unfollow me immediately. No, I don't know. Like, did you just blow over a lamppost? Like, for example, there's the anecdote where there's the British representative in the Raj, and he shows up, and there's sati, which is a regional Indian custom of burning widows after their husband dies.
Mm-hmm.
Like burning them alive, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they did that, and the British were like, "No, we're not going to let you do this."
Right.
But this particular guy showed up, and he was like, "Well, okay, we don't want you to do this." And the local, Indian potentates were like, "Well, this is our national custom to burn widows alive." And the British representative said, "Very well, let us all abide by our national customs. It is your national custom to burn widows. But we British have a custom as well. And that is if a woman is burned alive, we erect a gibbet and hang everybody who is responsible for it.
Right.
Let us all Therefore I have ordered my carpenters to erect a gibbet next to the scene of Sati. Let us all abide by our national customs."
Are being defended by ancient blowhards. Good. God bless ancient blowhards, unironically.
Martial arts classes and stuff, and one or two times I scared somebody off, and that was a really empowering experience.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, courage your convictions, man. I mean, if you scare somebody else off, I think that's a better win than fighting them.
Yeah, well, that's the Sun Tzu. That's the Sun Tzu win,
Yeah.
Right.
But what happened?
So what happened? This was in college. I was at a frat party with a female friend. The friend was actually a friend, not like someone I was hooking up with, or anything like that. And basically, the dudes were acting kind of like creepy, right? So I was kind of like, I was too drunk, so I fucking said something, and then they were like, "Get out of here," right? So I'm like, "All right, fine, I'll get out, whatever, I'll leave your fucking house." And on the way out, I kicked a chair because which I shouldn't have done,
Yeah, classic monkey dance, by the way.
Yeah, it's monkey dance.
Check out Rory Miller, very good.
Right. Vogelfree, this is the one. And so I walk outside, and they start following me. Okay.
Oh.
And so this is in St. Louis. It's snowy. It's dark.
No shit. Wait. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that I miss most about St. Louis.
Hold on. You gotta let me finish the story.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Drunk motherfucker.
Whatever. Go on.
No, it's cool. Long story short, basically they're following me outside. I realized this could get ugly. I don't think it's going to, but also I was just mad, and so right, because I don't want to get chased off by some guys. Like, fuck that, right? So basically, I stopped dead in my tracks. Right, I took off my jacket. While these dudes are following me, I take off my jacket and I drop it on the snow, and I kind of had my arms out like battle stance kind of situation, right? And I basically slowly turned around and just tried to have the most I'm going to eat your heart energy I could possibly have. And then I started walking towards them. And this dude literally looked like he shed his fucking pants and ran inside the house. So that was my win.
Man, that's risky. But you won the monkey dance.
Right, the monkey dance.
I don't know. Maybe you can be drafted. There's a law about it.
The also, U.S. militia?
Yeah, there's a U.S. militia. Also, BRB, it occurs to me I should probably take a bio break to use WoW parlance.
Sweet. Bio break. All right, sounds good.
I've been put back on the microphone.
We're back with Silentelekia.
Did he spill water on the floor over here?
It may be whiskey.
He's back.
Am I back?
You're back. It can be.
It's rye. We have word from the chat that what was spilled was rye.
But the United States it's not crazy in retrospect that the United States won the Revolutionary War. We were a vastly superior people to Britain. We were a strong nation of yeomen compared to the proto-industrial serfs of England. And
were we like the Arab tribes or something like that?
Basically, yeah. I mean, we fought like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, follow 𝔙𝕚𝕚𝕚. God, I hope he's okay. Also, he owes me money.
Eigenvoyage, we've been going for 5 hours. I feel like I should return you to your wife. We have.
Shit. Okay. Well, I don't know. If you're done, I can be done. I definitely don't want to keep you past your quitting point. 5 hours, seriously?
We've literally gone for 5. I won't have the world say that I was the one who wanted to log off first. So I can keep going. I'm good. If there's anything you want to talk about, if there's stuff the chat, everyone who is heroically still hanging on, if anybody wants to ask more stuff.
Yeah, I'll take questions for like 10 minutes more. Does that work for you?
Totally, absolutely,
Okay, I'm gonna kill it at 10:11.
perfect. Chat, it's on you guys now. You gotta. If we missed any questions,
SSC drama, fuck tech media. I'm so mad at them. I genuinely hope that New York Times implodes. I don't know. Every time a newspaper implodes, I'm like, yeah, fuck these guys. That's my hot take. What are you most looking forward to about being a dad? I mean, everything exciting. Yeah, no, seriously, maybe Gray. Hey, go. I can't remember whether you're dating anyone, but like, go have some fucking kids. It's great. Like, go talk to Celine if you need to about having kids. But I respect whatever you're doing right now. I'm not keeping track of what you're doing right now, but it seems like you're doing the thing. But also like,
I like Malty just saying okay.
yeah, I don't know. Just gestation is fantastic. Go settle down. I can't recommend it enough. Maybe great if you want to be a mom, like just go be a mom. It fucking owns. I mean, I've loved Slentilikia for a long time, but like it's so sweet and so beautiful to see her just be really, really excited about being a mom and having so much love for somebody who she's creating as a consequence of me. Go fucking do it. It's wonderful. I encourage it.
This is a pro-natalist stream.
Yeah, this is hypernatalist. Honestly, like I don't want to encourage people who don't want to have kids because I think you need some amount of investment. But if you're on the fence, I don't know. It's been life changing for me, even not having a kid quite yet, and it's great. Maybe understanding history is good, but maybe from a personal perspective, especially if you're young, understanding heroes is more important.
Yeah.
Like, like if you want to understand what's happening in the world around you, maybe you understand history. But if you want to understand how to live, you understand heroes. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me, dude. You're speaking my language. Makes sense to me.
Okay. That actually seems like a really good note to end on. Like,
yeah.
History for understanding the times and like heroes for understanding how to live.
Dude,
I'm happy ending on that note.
Fuck yeah. And we got a nice view of the city here. We just kind of parked our sports car,
Yeah, I love it. Hey, and everyone who's in chat, like, if you're in Seattle, I don't know, come out. I'll buy you a drink. I'm super happy to take first round. I miss everybody. I miss meeting up with people that I don't know, which I used to do a lot. Like, come to Seattle. We'll drink. It'll be a good evening. I think I can still do this with a kid. We'll figure it out. But I love all of you. Have a good night, and thanks for listening for however long you've listened.
He said it. He said everything I wanted to say. Eigenvoyage, thank you very much. You've done me a great service by coming to my my humble stream. And we'll, I'll see you on Twitter, dude.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Take care, everyone.
Podcast.